Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today to this episode of the Wildcat Way Show. I am Carrie E. Valance. As you know, the Wildcat Way Show is a YouTube channel and podcast that reflects our motto at Pearl River Community College of living the Wildcat Way, and that is exemplifying pride, respect, class, and character in each and everything that you do in life. And today our guest demonstrates all of those qualities in her own being, that of her family and her children, and she's our head coach of our women's softball team, and she's teaching and coaching her girls to live their lives the same way. Please let's welcome Coach Christie Meeks to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today, Coach Meeks.
Yes.
I'm so happy that you're here. This is your first time on the Wildcat Way Show. You've been our coach now. This is your second year going into the season. Will you share with us, every season we were just talking about, you have different awareness games, right? And will you share with us why that's important to you and what you've done so far this season?
Yeah, so it's very important to us to bring awareness not only to different things, but to get our girls involved into the community and to get our community involved with the girls.
Yeah.
So we chose 6 different games and we do 6 different themes each year. Last year was a Down syndrome game, and that was actually our last game before everything got canceled.
Right.
And so we teamed up with 3 different facilities that house Down syndrome people.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they came, brought their students out, and they ran out on the field with our girls, and it was so much fun.
It's so touching. I remember seeing pictures and video from that game because it was right before spring break, before everything shut down. And we were so excited to have those types of experiences, just as I know the kids were. So tell us about so far this season, what you've been able to do.
So this season we had a breast cancer awareness game that was actually our first doubleheader opening with Coastal Alabama South.
Okay.
And then we've done diabetes, and Coach Long, our vice president, he threw out the first pitch of that game. And then 2 days ago was our autism awareness game. And so we give our girls bracelets, and then on top of that, we have like a basket that we raffle off at our games that has something along those lines with either autism or diabetes or breast cancer. And then from there, whoever is out there with us either runs out on the field or throws out the first pitch.
That's awesome. And you have another doubleheader coming up this weekend. Tell us about that awareness game and why that's so important to you.
So that is our hearing loss awareness game, and we actually teamed up with the hearing loss facility in Hattiesburg.
Okay.
And so they are going to bring some of their students down.
Oh, wow.
But
that's
also
awesome.
that's where my son goes. He has cochlear implants, and so he was implanted at 18 months.
Okay.
And we take him there for therapy, and so it's going to be a really fun game.
And that will be really nice too for Connor to get to see his friends from up there here, like on his home field. It's his turf. Like he's like inviting them to his house kind of type of way. Well, will you share with the audience, in part of bringing awareness is kind of educating people, right? So, I mean, our kids are in school together. We went through the same thing, like at the hospital, they do like the hearing test. Hearing impairment actually runs in my husband's family. His mother's deaf as well. So we were very cognizant of that whenever I was pregnant and after birth, kind of looking for signs and making sure we went through all the tests. What were kind of the first signs that you and Eric noticed with Connor?
So no one in our family has hearing loss.
Okay.
And we didn't even think about that. Like we just prayed for him to be healthy, like your normal prayers as you're pregnant. Had a unbelievable easy pregnancy. We were in the middle of having birth, and he was perfectly fine. Everything was exactly the way it was supposed to be. He came in and they did the hearing test. So they didn't do them in the rooms at that time. They took him back. And he didn't pass the hearing test, and they said no worries. He has a lot of hair. So
he's just a baby. They don't know they're being tested.
That's it. That's exactly right. So we took him and got him tested. We actually had him in Mobile. That's where we're from. We got him tested at a friend of ours. She is an audiologist over there. And he failed it again. And so that second time kind of worried us a little bit. After that, they told us they wanted to do a more intense hearing test. So they put him to sleep, hooked him up to some different wires, and it was a 2-hour long test.
Oh, man.
That test he failed as well. And so they pretty much at that point were like, okay, we have some problems going on in here.
Right.
We're not 100% sure what they are. He was 3 weeks old at that time. And so they sent us from Mobile. We lived over here, so in Mississippi. So they sent us to Jackson and referenced us to a really great doctor in Jackson.
Okay.
We went up there, and at that point, they pretty much told us he was profoundly deaf in one ear and severely deaf in the other. So we were kind of taken back.
Right, yeah, just in a state of shock, kind of.
Yes.
Just don't know what to do from there.
Yes.
So what were the next steps that y'all were told to take, and who guided you? Where did you go from there?
Yeah, so the doctors up there were really amazing. We got in touch with an audiologist there. She kind of gave us the next steps. And at that time, they did a genetic test on him.
Okay.
And it comes out that me and Eric both of us have a recessive gene. And Connor, it was only 25% of our kids that could have that, you know, and Connor had that gene. And so he needed to go in, and they gave him hearing aids at 3 months old. He needed to go in and do some more testing. He was able to test where they could do cochlear implants, which does not happen for a lot of people, because cochlear implants, you actually go in, he has surgery in the back of his ears, they cut him open, put the cochlear into his skull.
Oh, so it's really implanted in there. It's not something you like take off and put back on.
So there's a part that's in his skull that's implanted in there, and it has a magnet, and it bypasses your ears totally to hear. He hears through magnetic pulses.
Wow.
So the thing that he wears outside is like a hearing aid, but it attaches as a magnet to his skull.
Wow. Okay.
And that is what allows him to hear.
Wow.
The future of industry is right at your fingertips, here within Pearl River Community College's career and technical education programs.
You will become specialized in the skilled trades, applied sciences, modern technologies, and career preparation that will propel you to a position of power within your chosen field. Pearl River's CTE programs are fine-tuned to provide students with hands-on training and the skills necessary to succeed in the labor market. Technical education contributes a major share to the overall education system and plays a vital role in the social and economic development of our community and entire country. PRCC students will get opportunities for career success at our 4 convenient locations and will be trained to not only seamlessly enter the workforce, they'll succeed. Visit prcc.edu to register.
Wow, that's really, really incredible. It's so I was telling Coach Meeks beforehand, Connor and my son, little Jonah, are in the same class, and Jonah and I were talking about Connor one day, and he said, yeah, Connor wears these special earplugs. They're magic. That's how he can hear so good. And I was just like, what a profound way for a little kid to like explain what's happening, you know? But it really does almost seem like magic. I know it's science, but I mean, to have something like that to be able to be done to help, like how does it help? Like what change have you seen?
So for the first 3 months of his life, he had hearing aids. And then from hearing aids, we transitioned to, yes, we can have cochlear implants. So that was a process, and that took 18 months. So he was 18 months old when he was implanted. The 4 weeks after his implants, he was completely deaf, because when you're implanted, it totally killed any other hearing that he had.
Okay.
Like he could hear claps and stuff like that with his hearing aids on. So the first, those 4 weeks were really tough for me and Eric, because we were used to, like, you have an 18-month-old, they're climbing everywhere and running everywhere, and like we would clap really loud or say, hey, if he was running off, and now he can't hear anything. So we would like stop in the middle of something and run over there, and he's climbing on the TV. But that was a tough 4 weeks. After that, he was implanted, and it takes a little while. So like it was like starting over again with his hearing aids. They start him out really, really soft tones, low pitches, and then it moves up into normal tones, normal pitches. So it's not like how we hear. It's very mechanical. It's a little different.
Right.
And so he's got to process all of those things. So we went through therapy before and after and during all of this. It became a lifestyle for us.
Sure, yeah.
And so it was our first kid, so it was not anything different.
Right, true.
We didn't know the difference. And so we take his ears, we call him his ears. So we take his ears off when he goes to bed, and he sleeps all the way through the night. And then 2 years later, we have Olivia, who you can't take her ears off. And so I was like, well, this kind of spoiled us a little bit. Like, we got to be quiet while she sleeps.
You can't make any loud noises in the middle of the night that'll startle her.
Yes.
That's so funny. You can really see that they always say that two kids are completely different from one another, but that you saw it firsthand, the stark differences. How does Olivia kind of respond to everything with Connor?
She realizes that he cannot hear without his things in his ears. So she'll make sure she walks up and says something to him, like in the morning times. She'll touch him, you know. Or he can read lips really well. So she'll say good morning, and I'm like, he doesn't have his ears in. Oh yeah, Mommy, let's go get his ears.
That's
you know.
so sweet.
So she protects him.
Well, you and Eric and Connor and Olivia came into campus 2 years ago, completely moved your whole home and everyone over here, and now you are like fully a part of the Wildcat family. How has it been blending your core family into the Wildcat family as well?
This is what me and Eric have been searching for. You know, we are both the youngest child in our families. Our siblings are a lot older than us, and we are very close to our family. And so something that we wanted was the closeness with friends our age. And so being here on campus, we're able to have that with all the other coaches on campus and their children the same ages as Connor and you guys, and just having people around us all the time that are here for us as a family, for sure.
I mean, I say it all the time. It's like we're all going through everything together, especially this year. It's been like a full year now of this COVID, everything, and we were all able to still see each other, right, and work with each other and spend time. And y'all, especially being here on campus, you kind of had like your own like park to play in.
Exactly
so the kids were able to all come together, and all you coaches, like I was thinking about it, y'all all have such different schedules. So sometimes during like a normal year, some people are playing games, some are practicing, some are traveling. For that period of time, y'all are all just here together, you know. So that, I'm sure, made a whole lot more time for you to bond and get to know each other, and for the kids as well. Hands
down. And it's nice to have that bond with other coaches because you know, this season is long and this conference is tough. And so it's going to be up and down. You're going to have really high highs and you're going to have some lows. And so to know how to help each other through that, the only way you can do that is to be around each other. And so it's been great to do those things.
Now, what do you tell like prospective student athletes when they're coming, taking tours, or you're going around scouting? What do you tell them about why they should come to the river?
This is a family. And for you to be here, you got to feel it on campus. You know, we look out for each other. Coach Avalon is going to know every one of our girls. Coach Fletcher is going to know our players, and they're going to ask about them. The other day, Coach Fletcher had breakfast with 2 of our athletes. I mean, it's a different kind of place. And if you want to be loved on, that's definitely what we have here. We push them on the field, but we're people. So one of the biggest things that we tell all of our athletes, you are a player and we are coaches on the field, and that's our job. Off of that, we're all people. And so we're going to treat you like a person. And so your performance does not dictate who you are as a person. You are still a person.
Absolutely. Now, y'all are busy. You're in the middle of your season right now. Now, what are your hopes for your team coming up this season?
I want us to stay as a family. You know, one of the things that our girls have done right now is they've bonded. And they are playing for each other. They trust each other. I mean, and I asked this to one of our players who's hot right now. And she's like, I feel as if when I get up there, if I don't hit, I know the person behind me is going to. So it's just this trust factor. And I want them to continue that. I want them to continue to grow and realize the sky's the limit for them.
Now let's talk about like a 5-year plan, maybe for you, your family, your team here at school. What do you foresee happening within your life in 5 years?
My goal for this program, and this is all of our coaches, we have set one major goal is to be in the top 4 every single year. And so that is something that we're going to push for. That's kind of a blinder on. We're recruiting hard right now, and we're pushing for that.
Well, thank you so much, Coach Meeks, for coming and educating us about hearing loss and the amazing things that you're doing with the team, and really educating your girls too, right, about all these different causes, because a lot of times some kids straight out of high school aren't really thinking about things like that, and it just takes them getting to know someone that may have been affected by one of these things to help bring the awareness to them. So hopefully you're helping them that they could maybe steer the course in their life differently.
That's all right. We have a platform, and if we can use that platform for whatever we want to show.
Right.
And right now we want to use it to show others that we want to be involved in.
That's so awesome. I really commend you for that, and I think it's just really excellent. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today's episode of the Wildcat Way Show. I'd like to please encourage you, if you or someone you know is living your life the Wildcat Way with pride, respect, class, and character, send me an email. I'd love to share their story. Please email me at kvalance@prcc.edu. I'll put the little banner on the bottom of the screen there. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and listen to our podcast on iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Stitcher. And please continue to live your life the Wildcat Way.